Hey everybody out there, my name is Tommy and this is my channel, Counting on the Big Sleep. And it is Sunday, January 4th. Just got back from church at the woods as usual, you know. I know I made a video last night, it was called Late Night Rant. And I was really thinking about not going into work, man. It took me a good 25 minutes just to get to a Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee. You know? And I didn't really feel like going to work. But, I texted my boss and I said, I'm not coming in. And then about 20 minutes later, I texted him and said, hey, man, I'll be in there. And I was 5 minutes late. But I went to work. I need the money. And it wasn't really that bad. Honestly, I was just fueling trucks today. The kid didn't bother me too much at all. Didn't ask me to do... He asked me to do a couple things, and I gladly did it, Asked me to turn one of the trucks around so he could put some fluid in on the one side. And then he asked me to dump garbage cans in the mechanic's bay. So I went in there and I looked and there's fucking no garbage. There's a little bit of paper in one of them. I'm like, they're already clean, dude. But he didn't really bother me at all today. He didn't bother me much at all. Or last night, he didn't bother me. I just did my job. Filled them up, wrote down the mileage, how many gallons. Took him the bus, he washed it. I pulled it out, pulled another one in, We got everything done by about 3:45. It wasn't bad. It's not bad. If you get done by, if you can get done by 3 o'clock, you're fucking happy. You're moving your ass. If you get done by 3:30, yeah, you're going pretty fast. You're getting shit done. 4 o'clock, yeah, you're moving fast, but not as fast. Usually when me and Bill work, we'll get done by 4. So he doesn't move super fast, and I don't have to move super fast. But when it's me and the kid, I move a little faster than Bill. I guess I'm a little younger, and I don't do as much as he does. That's the truth. I'm not checking the fucking oils and shit. It's the weekend. You check the oils and crap all during the week. I'm just there to fucking fill them full of gas or diesel, get them in there, get them cleaned up, and put them parked where they're supposed to be parked. That's all. That's all. Not asking for too much. And that's, and that's more than enough for what they pay me. Believe me, more than enough for what I get paid there. I'm not being over, you don't get rich climbing a ladder. You get rich by owning a ladder. It's a little late for me to be rich. A little late for me to be rich. But church was nice. Different pastor today. I don't remember his name. We've had a different guy every week, just about. A different guy. This guy was a white guy with a tie. He was, maybe a southerner, maybe. I don't know. He told us about the story of Jonah. Being swallowed by the whale 3 days. But the story that came after that, when Jonah was on a boat and the seas were really rough. It was a big storm, getting ready to wipe them all out and stuff. And sailors were dying left and right, of course. And people were praying to other gods. And they were looking for Jonah. But he was hiding, even though he was God Yahweh's prophet. Excuse my voice. And the pastor was talking about how Jonah could hide his sin from the sailors, but couldn't hide his sin from God. And I kept on thinking, what sin are you talking about? I didn't understand the point of the story, Okay, Jonah's hiding. There's a storm. Everyone's praying to their God. Different, because there was different deities back then. You know? What sin was he hiding? I mean, he did make some mention of, like, you know, hiding your stuff on your internet browser, but that makes me think of sex. You know? I mean, if you hide, you know, if you got like porn on your laptop or something, you know, never on your phone. Never on your phone. Never on your phone. But no, I don't really understand that story at all. You know, hiding his sin. What sin was he hiding? And what sin was he talking about that, you know, people are hiding? And that he was comparing Jonah. Oh, well, at the end of the story, you know, the only way to quench God's anger was to pick Jonah up and throw him off the boat into the sea so the seas would calm down, you know. And Jonah was offering to sacrifice himself for it. And eventually they did. They threw him off. And he died, and the seas went calmer. And it was like they were saying Jonah sacrificed himself for these sailors. Jesus sacrificed himself for everyone. You know, that's what the message that I was getting from it. I'm not like really sure what sin he was talking about, or or what is sin. You know, be honest with you. You know, what is sin? Human natural behavior? I have no idea. I have no, you know, I mean, yeah, don't murder people, don't rob people, you don't cheat people, don't be a dick to people. Try not to be. Try to be a little nicer, kinder, open your heart, show grace, show mercy, show kindness. You know, you show those things, and those things will benefit you in the long run. You know, benefit you and your eternal, if you have an eternal soul. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't. You know, I mean, I honestly, I've been going to this church for a year. Nice people, nice people. I told them about my sister having Alzheimer's and dementia, and they wanted to do a shout out prayer for her. And I said, no, don't do that, please. I really just want to sit in the background and see if I can absorb some of this stuff. But that story you told today, that was just, I didn't understand that at all. You know, I really didn't. I really didn't. You know. I mean, what is talking? What's sin? What sin? What sin were they doing on a ship? Why was God so angry at Jonah? Because he was hiding his sin. He was hiding something, or he was hiding. I didn't get it. You know, I just didn't get it. But remember, one thing I have to say is, I've been up since, you know, yesterday. I got up at 6 o'clock and, you know, got my coffee and went to work and made the video last night. So I've been up all night and all, you know, most of the day so far. I'll stay up for the rest of the day, you know, until I go home. My home. If I can really call it my home. I mean, that's not really my home. They say this is your home too, you know. Like, yeah, I don't know, but, you know, every morning dogs bark at me. You know? Hey, it's me. You see me every fucking day. You gotta bark at me again. You know? And I don't know about the job either. The job's driving me a little crazy. But it's not bad. Like I said, last night wasn't bad at all. Last night wasn't bad. You know? Went and had to get a quart of oil. Opened up my hood and realized that my cap that was on my oil thing was gone. I was like, oh fuck, I gotta go buy a cap. See if I can find a cap somewhere. And I looked down, and luckily it was stuck in like the fan part, you know, right in there. I was like, oh, cool. So I bought a quart of oil, put that in there, put that lid to tighten it, make sure it was tight enough on it or stay on there. I don't know. I probably didn't put it on last time. It must have left it just sitting there somewhere, and it fell. I don't know. Maybe I did. You know. I'm losing my fucking mind. I have no idea. But at least I'm sitting here on a beautiful day at the lake. Anybody want to see? I'll show you real quick here. Beautiful day. Beautiful. It looks cold out there. It looks cold and frozen. Can I open it? A little bit. Yeah, look at that. Nice. Nice view. Nice view. Okay. Let's take it down a notch. Take it down to where it's supposed to be. Alright. Right there. Oh. There we go. But, yeah, beautiful day. It's nice and chilly out here. But it was a good day at church. I mean, the singing was nice. Let me go back. You know, the singing was nice. It's nice to sing, and it's nice to shake hands with people in the morning. It's just, you know, I don't know. I mean, they're nice people. But I can't say I believe what they believe. You know, honestly, I can't. I mean, I don't believe Jesus is God. You know, I think he was the embodiment of God's love and a great moral and spiritual teacher, but I don't believe in the virgin birth. I don't. I mean, to me, that's impossible. You know, I mean, that's a rarity. I mean, how rare would it have to be for someone to spontaneously give birth in that day and age? You know? Or Jesus walking on water. How is that possible? You can't walk on water. You can't. No matter how much faith you have in God, you can't walk on fucking water. It's just physics. I mean, if you develop special shoes, sure. But we're talking about ancient times like that. Or Moses' staff turning into a snake and him using it to part the Red Sea. The laws of nature just don't change. Just don't stop all of a sudden. You know? And that's why I'm conflicted about church a lot of times. You know, 'cause some of the stories are just... Nah, I just... You know... Some of them have good moral stories to them. You know, I mean, good moral, ethical things that you should do to help improve your life. You know, they really do. Some of them do. Some of them don't, you know. I mean, they talk about hell and stuff. You know, hell, to me, if there was some sort of hell, it would never be eternal. Eventually, you would just be destroyed, if not sooner than later, you know. Why would any God just punish you for a gazillion years? I mean, God is eternal, right? So he's been here a long ass fucking time. You know? A lot longer than me and you. A lot longer than dinosaurs. A lot longer than just about anything. Well, yeah, just anything. Because when they talk about God, God is something that comes from outside of space and time. You know? I'm assuming could cause the Big Bang Theory. I mean, I don't know how exactly it all happened. You know, I know I'm here. And I know I'll die someday. I mean, but I don't think... I don't think even the worst of people, you know, would be burning in hell for eternity. That just, to me, is... I just don't think it works that way. I don't know. It's just me. I think when you die, something that you don't even know. You're not... There's no words to put to it. How do you know what's in the mind of God? Or what is God? How do you know? Just because the Bible says so? That was written by men. And translated from many different languages. Just like all these things were, you know? I mean, if you want to go back before Christianity, you had Hinduism, you know? And then I don't know when Confucius and other religions started. I think the very one of the first ones were Hinduism was the very first religion, I think. You know, they have a nice colorful... I like the religion. It's nice and colorful. You know, Hare Krishna, different types of gods, you know. And it's very colorful. It's very artsy, I think, you know. Christianity is more, you know, sadness in a way, you know. I mean, it's sadness and it is uplifting too at the same time, you know. But, yeah, today's story about Jonas hiding his sin, I didn't really understand that much. You know, they're on a ship and stuff. What sin was he hiding? What are they talking about? You know? Why was God angry at Jonah? Yeah. Somebody explain all this to me. You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. I think science and religion are the same apple, but bitten off different sides. One tells you how things happen, the other one tells you who. But it doesn't really tell you who. It just says God or Yahweh. Well, they don't say what he is. Or, you know, he doesn't even know, or it doesn't even know where it came from. It's just always been. I am what I am. I've always been here. I mean, I would never want to live for eternity. Oh my God, I would go insane. You would go insane if you couldn't finally turn it all off, you know, and just have, you know, a rest period for millions of years, because you never know. You know, this whole thing could last billions and billions of years. It could contract to a certain point, or it could keep on expanding forever and ever and ever. You know, more black holes could burst stuff up. Everything could contract and go back to God. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what happens. You know, just be lucky that we live in this timeline and you had the chance to have a life, to do the best you could. You know, whether it was a good life or a bad life, you got a chance to have the life. You know, I mean, I feel bad for people who had, you know, dealt a bad hand. That sucks. And that's where you kind of hope reincarnation can come into a play. You know, maybe someone gets a second chance, you know. But what do I know? You know, I just go to church here and try to understand the shit. Half the time I can't. I don't understand it. You know. But I do like the parts about when they talk about, you know, grace and mercy and stuff like that. You know, open your heart out, you know, to people and stuff. I like that. That part I like. But if you're gonna talk to me about burning in hell for eternity, no. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. You know, which doesn't mean it's not true. It could be true. I don't know. What do I know? You know. You know. I don't remember before I was born. I may not remember when I'm dead. I don't know. Nobody really knows. But just trying to enjoy the day here before I got in that day rant. Man, I'm gonna have to, you know, rename this series. Counting on a big sleep, counting on a big rant. You know? Oh. But made it through another week. Told them I might not be in Tuesday. I'm not really sure. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about taking Tuesday off, but I probably won't. You know, I need the money. More money I make, the faster I could, you know, get the fuck out. But for what? You know, what am I going to do? I'm going to spend like $12,000 a month for a one-bedroom apartment? What the fuck that? What the fuck? It's way too much money for a one-bedroom. I don't care if they say it's market value. I don't care. It's not my market value. For $1,250, what else are you going to give me? And that's just for one lousy bedroom. In my day, a one bedroom could cost you $750 to $850. That was the tops. That was the tops. You know? $1,200, $1,000, not the cheapest one I found, which I kind of wanted, was $950 a month. I said, well, you know, I can afford that, but it'd be a lot farther from my job. I'd probably have to start, and I am looking for a different job, but I don't know if I want to quit or not. I don't know where I want to live. You know, I know I got, you know, to the end of this month, try and save as much as I can, you know, find a place. I like to find somewhere in the middle ground, or find a different career and get out of this fucking bus industry. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the buckets. You know, I'm sick of cleaning buses, you know, filling them full of fuel, parking them. I'm sick of buses altogether. You know, I've been doing it over 10 years now. Do something different. I got 3 more years to go before retirement. I don't know. I want to do something different. I don't know what to do. You know? Don't know what to do. Alright. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll show you one more view of what we got going on. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. Oh. Oh. Beautiful place. Nice and cold out. Nice and cold. Nice and chilly. Wasn't a bad day. Like I said, didn't have a bad night. Didn't have a bad day. Just haven't slept in a while. You know, so far it's close to about 20 hours. Ain't nothing. Some guy picking up some kind of garbage next to me. Oh, man. But, buddy, just want to let you know, you have a good night, good day. Hope everything goes good for you. I hope we have a better year than we had last year. Let's hope so. Maybe it's just being a nice guy picking up garbage. That's all. Well, that's good. Good for him, man. Meeting more people like that. More people to take, you know, clean the place up. All right. I will talk to you later.